Most students, the issue is not. Let me. I
Mm.
think you all are too noisy. I have to
Hola.
put it off. Yes, please sit down. You're moving all over the place. Are you sitting down? We are having a class, so you need to sit down. Good morning, children.
Good morning, sir.
Today, let us begin part 4 of this poem. Next night, when the nightingale shook her head and twitched her tail, closed an eye and fluffed a wing, and had cleared her throat to sing, she was startled by a croak. The first two lines tell us that it's something of a warm-up. Vikram Seth wrote this poem in 1994, and he might have actually invented something called the emoji. You would have seen this a lot in your WhatsApp and other messenger chats. This poem is a comedy, so Vikram Seth has again very cleverly put little words and symbols to remind us that it has a comic meaning. We will look at two word meanings here. One is fluffed and the other is startled. Let us first look at the meaning of fluffed. Fluffed is something that a bird does, or in this case, a nightingale does. It means to make something appear fuller and softer by shaking or brushing it. It also means when you fail to perform or accomplish something successfully or well. In this poem, this meaning is given to us in advance because later on in the poem we will know that this happens to the nightingale. Startled is an adjective and it means a sudden shock or alarm. So when the nightingale heard the croak or the sound of the frog, she was startled. Now this also applies to children or babies. It also applies not just to humans and birds but also to animals. And then a small dialogue begins between the nightingale and the frog. The nightingale said, "Sorry, was that you who spoke?" And the frog replied. The frog said, "Yes. You see, I'm the frog who owns this tree." This is the beginning of lies and deception. And then he also says, "In this bog, I've long been known for my splendid baritone." In the vocal singing style, we have alto, we have tenor, we have soprano also, and then we have bass. So when a male singer sings in the range between tenor and the bass, we call it a baritone. Baritone is also a musical instrument. It's the second lowest in pitch in his group or in his family. It could be a trumpet, it could be a horn. And he tells the next lie is that he says, "I wield my pen for bog, trumpet, now and then." What does it mean when he says, "I wield my pen"? This means that he says that I am a critic or I am a writer of the bog trumpet. The bog trumpet is a fictional name, it's not really true, of a newspaper. In fact, the frog was never a critic, was never a writer, was not even a good singer. So he told a lie to the nightingale to impress her. The nightingale made a very good impression or a very good first impression, and the frog also made a very good first impression on the nightingale. Actually, he had a very evil plan to be rid of the nightingale, and the details of which I will tell you in the coming classes. In this story, there's a moral lesson. You should be a little bit careful in whatever you do. Now, I want you to look at the word that Vikram Seth uses, and he says it's a common phrase called wield my pen or to wield the pen. To wield the pen, it means to have or to use power, authority, or influence. You might have heard a very common proverb or a saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. To wield the pen. Now, where did it all, or where did this phrase come from? It began with Edward Bulwer Lytton when he wrote a play. In this play, the dialogue or the conversation goes something like this. He discovers a plot to kill him or to assassinate him. But he is a priest. A cardinal means he is a priest. Because he is a priest, and as a priest, you cannot take up arms and fight your enemies. And then his page or his helper points out or tells him, but he says, there are other weapons at your command. And then the cardinal agrees, yes, the pen is mightier than the sword. He said, take it away. Even the states can be saved without it. So if you look at the picture, here is the cardinal telling his page boy, take away the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. And the meaning is simply that it is a figure of speech. And it says that the written word is more powerful than anything else. Let's look at the pen and the sword. The swords means the weapons or instruments of war. And the pen means the power of free thought or the power of education, the power of qualified people or educated and wise people. Now coming back to the present. During this COVID-19, will guns or weapons help? No, it has no use or function. The only people who will save us are the educated people, the people with the power of the pen. Here it means the scientists, the medical researchers, and they are working day and night to find a cure or to save us or to save all of humanity. So think about it. The pen is mightier than the sword.